Ankita ma'am, are you there?
Yes.
Ankita ma'am, are you there? Good afternoon, ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, ma'am. So, take the attitude of a student. Never be too big to ask questions. Never know too much to learn something new. So, a wonderful good afternoon and early good evening to all the participants, Research Foundation of India's members and dignitaries. With positive vibes, I am Nikita Khandelwal, again here and heartily welcomes you all on behalf of Research Foundation of India. And it's 28th of June, third day of our training faculty development program on innovative teaching and learning pedagogy which is organized by Research Foundation of India and sponsored by World Virtual Conference Forum, ECLAV University, HERF, WFST, ARGA. So, the topic of our today's session is teaching innovative teaching practices. For this, Dr. Ankita Jain will be with us with her valuable guidance. But before we start that session, I would like to share something about our divine subject expert. Dr. Ankita Jain has been associated with Sri Vaishnav Institute of Management and Research, Indore, as Assistant Professor in Department of Management since 2017 to 2022, prior to which ma'am has served in Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Department of Law and Management, Indore, for 2 years. Ma'am has teaching experience of more than 7 years, and also she has completed her PhD from Prestige Institute of Management and Research, DAVV Indore, under the guidance of Dr. Anukul Manish Hayde. Ma'am has been involved in teaching subjects like human resource management, principles and practice of management, entrepreneurship, business communication, organizational development, personality development, performance management, human resource development, leadership skills and change management, human values and professional ethics, and other general management oriented subjects at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Recently, ma'am has completed annual 5-week faculty development programs at Indian Institute of Management, IIM 1, Indore, on from 11th of April 2022 to 13th May 2022. One patent has also been published in April 22 on methods or model for solving the unemployment problem through digital business. Pam has been invited for expert lecture at various places. She has been coordinated and moderated various events in national and international events. Ma'am has been book editor in book Virtual Teaching in India during lockdown. Apart from that, 10 books are under process. Ma'am has been attended various national and international conferences and presented more than 45 papers and published more than 30 research papers, book chapters, and case studies in international national journals and conference proceedings. She has been also attended various training sessions, workshops, faculty development program, and lectures by management forums. Ma'am has completed various life projects and major research projects with students. In her job, she has been the part of institutional committees such as Research and Development Committee, Industry Institute Interface Committee, admission sale, cultural and literacy committee, admission sale, placement sale, management games, and extracurricular activities committee, and photography club member. She has been organized various cultural events including fashion shows, flash mobs at various places in Indore. She has been honored at Devi Ahilyabai Holkar Airport, Indore by Airport Authority for presenting flash mobs on Republic Day and World Tourism Day. Also counseling the student for their career as well as for individual development. Ma'am has keen interest in research work and counseling to the students. She is motivational speaker, career guide, and life coach by passion. Ma'am has trained various students on multiple skills. If we talk about the certification, so she is having the certifications like training and development, academic writing, literature search and reference, management, academic writing, human resource development by NPTEL, Swayam, enhancing soft skills and personality by NPTEL, Swayam, fundamentals of digital marketing, competency based interviewing for interviewees, preparing a writing written applications, 360-degree feedback, and performance planning. Create a virtual classroom using Google Slides, using Google Forum to analyze users' research data. If we talk about the memberships, ma'am is promoted as Coordinator International Affairs at Research Foundation of India. Earlier served as MP State Secretary Coordinator Indore Zone, State Convener West Bengal, India, Executive Council Member, Women Cell Member, Core Committee Member for International Conference and Research Foundation of India, year 2019 and 20. Recently, ma'am has been appointed as Review Board Member in Editorial Board of KAV, International Journal of Economics, Commerce and Business Management, a referred peer-reviewed journal, part of National Advisory Committee of the Virtual International Conference Engineering, Economics, Computer Science, Management and Mathematics by Global Research Foundation and in association with KAV and R Media Private Limited, Delhi, scheduled on 22nd and 23rd April 2022. Man has been the ex-member of ISTD, Indian Society for Training and Development, for the year 2017 and 18. Still, she is really very young, so we can say that she's a rare combination of brain with beauty. So, ma'am, we heartily welcome you on this footpace. Please hold the footpace and guide with us, guide the all of us. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction of me. And
Welcome.
now, without delay, I would like to move ahead for the session. So, thank you, RFI and Nikita ma'am, for introducing and providing this platform to me for this particular session. So, I'm proceeding with my session. So, I'll be sharing my PPT now. Ma'am, is this properly visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, it's properly visible.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, let me proceed with the particular session. This is a training development program on the innovative teaching and learning pedagogy. And I have been given the opportunity to the topic on which I have to speak today is pitching innovative teaching practices. So I have been already talked about this topic number of times, and again I have given the opportunity to introduce a great audience. I think there are so many people who are from different colleges and universities, and you may be or directly or indirectly in the contact with these students like for a number of years. So for sure this particular session would be giving you lots of knowledge. I'm not going to give you lots of basically detailed information about something on this particular topic, but yes, some keywords, some key points on this which you can include in your teaching learning, so that a student can learn in a better way. And sometimes basically we know everything, but because of जैसे कहते हैं ना हनुमान जी को जब तक बताया नहीं गया था that he is having some skills, उन वो नहीं कर पाए थे सारी वो जो पर्वत को उन्होंने उठाया था, like that only. If sometimes we know each and everything, but you will take the note from someone or somebody says something, it always hit your mind, and you can do this in a better way. So today I'm going to talk about different teaching practices which we should include and inculcate in our teaching. So let's start with it. So Confucius said that I hear and I forget, I see and I believe, but when I do, I understand. So basically, whenever we do things, we start understanding. Sometimes we listen and forget, so you can write it, you can start doing it in your daily routine, and you can understand what exactly has to be done by you. So let's start. So
That I don't know.
the first one is presentation. As you already know that presentation is one of the
गरिमा मैम
best
को
way.
35
uh,
फाइल मिली है,
Excuse
अलॉटेड
me,
हुई है, बट
somebody is
शी हैज
having their
ओनली
mic on.
20 और 21 फाइल. हाँ, तो
uh,
वो बोलती है मैंने मेल कर
Nikita
दिया
ma'am,
है, तो
somebody is
माइक ओके मैम,
having the
अभी
mic
जितने
on.
अपना आप कंप्लीट करो. रोहिणी मैम प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ. रोहिणी मैम प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ.
Yeah, so the first one is presentation. This every day nowadays, without presentation we cannot do anything. So whether it is presentation from the slides or presentation from our own like things, so this is very nice. So if we talk about the presentation, it should be known to us. Like there are so many faculties, especially the senior faculties, who are still having or troubling with the various features of presentation. Nowadays students are using various online platform and offline platforms for using presentation. They are using Canva and other particular websites where they are preparing the presentations. So in teaching and learning, basically the presentation is playing a major role, where students are not taking notes from the books, but they are using the presentation where they can have the key points to learn, to study. So the presentation is one of the most important way. Another one is group discussion. As you already know that because of corona or a break kind of period from the regular classroom studies, the students got distracted. If you'll ask them to sit an hour for the class, they will not sit. So if we talk about the group discussion, we should focus on some sitting activities where they can have discussion amongst themselves, because they are doing discussion but among on the online platforms like WhatsApp, Instagram, and other various places. But we should have the group discussion. Specifically, we should try offline discussion where they can interact with each other, they can have the face to each other, and they can speak up in front of them. This increases confidence in them. So various topics can be given, those can be related to, it's not necessary that they are related to the topic or the subjective subject, but it can be related to any of the journal issues, latest issues which are running nowadays, or you can take any of the hot topic which they are aware of, so that they can start having discussion on those things. Another one is case study. I have been at IIM Indore for a faculty development program where I have learned that the case study is not just a story where students are reading it and they are coming out with a solution. Nikita, I'm getting somebody's voice.
भानु सर का नंबर होगा. Ma'am, it's still Rohini ma'am. She has not muted herself.
So can you ask admin to remove her so that it can be done?
मैं उनका नंबर, आप उनका नंबर.
Okay, so the another one I was talking about the case study, where what we can say that the cases are one of the
मैं आप
best.
मुझे digit बता दो, last 2 digits.
Because you know that whenever you have learned some stories from your grandmother or grandfather, you still have in your mind, right? So like this, the cases are something when you are giving an example of a particular on a topic through a story, a incidents, a case, basically. So the cases are one of the very nice way to have the discussion with the students.
Hello, Mrs. Please, Miss Rohini is not aware that she has not muted herself. And it seems like that. We have already told to our technical team. They are working on it. The problem will be solved very soon.
Yeah.
और मैम
So
भानु सर का नंबर क्या होगा मैम?
every day whenever it was happening that when we were having the classes, the faculties, the senior faculties of the IIM Indore, they used to give us various case studies on different topics. We used to we have to study in the night, and then in the morning every day we have to discuss that case with them. Then they used to convey the next topic or that particular topic to the details. So basically the cases are one of the most important way to teach them.
और उनके डाउट है उनका
Then the
नंबर
brainstorming, you know it, that basically the students nowadays, they are having mobile phones. Whenever they want to know something, they just google it and do it,
ये है क्या
or
बहुत
they
सारा
ask their
तो
friends
आपने
and
फोन
they
कैसे और स्टूडेंट्स को
social
पढ़ानी
media influencers.
है
Rohini madam, can I expect you to put your mic on off? Rohini madam.
आपका नाम देते हैं ना हाँ जी मैम
Rohini madam.
I think, ma'am, she is like says this putting it on, but
Yeah, so now it's good. Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, so brainstorming is also one of the important way where they are not using, just ask them to put their mobile phones aside and just give them something, any topic, any general thing, where they can have some, discussion with their friends. They can think about it, they can come up with new ideas, some innovative things which can be done. Just give them something to think, right? So the brainstorming is also one of the good way. Then the homework, earlier in the schools, or even nowadays some schools are still following the homework thing, but some of these schools have stopped doing it. They want the students to do all the homework and other things at home, at school only, and they ask them to go to the home without any work, right? So this was one of the best way to student to learn more, and they can revise the things what has been taught to this in the schools. So basically, if we talk about this, the students are supposed to give the some of the I can say assignments, some of the basic journal things which they can do from home. Like in my classes, why what I used to do, I always ask them to give some suggestions on some like I used to make the groups, then I used to give them suggestions that you can put a particular topic, you can take a topic, and that particular group, the group can be made by their own comfortness, where they can work more freely without any glitch. So we can ask them to take out some topics, and then they can work it at home. Then next day in the classes we can have a discussion on that, and every group has to prepare something different. So not every day, but once in a week we can have this kind of activity in the classes. Next is stand and speak. What happens when the students are coming in a group, like as I've told you, group discussion, or they have to come in a group work, because we have to tell them that what is teamwork, right? But stand and speak, what is it? So whenever they are coming up with something, ask each and everyone to speak up. Otherwise what happens, one or two students who are very good at speaking or something, like they are the leader of the group or something like that, they become the team leader or something, so they start speaking, but others are not speaking. In that case, again what happens, we always have to make the classify the class in different groups, that the speakers, then the people who are not speaking much, or the students who are not speaking at all. So in that case we have to work on that. So start including these things in the classes, where they can start speaking in front of everyone without any of the doubt. Then exercises, not physical exercises, but yes, mental exercises has to be done. So you can give them some of the small exercises, some things to read, some things to review. Ask them, you can ask them to take some notes from the particular book. They can go to the libraries, they can take out that particular thing, and then we can discuss in the class. So exercises has to be done. Some small like in the practical subjects, some small problems, some problems can be given to them which can be solved by them. Then group task, as I have told you, the teamwork is very much important. Nowadays, students are living in a nuclear family where they really don't know how to adjust with the people, how to compromise the things, and they do not know how to work in a group. In that case, what happens? They start working like if you'll make them, you can forcefully make a group of them and ask them to work on something. Some of them would be like that I won't be able to do. They will quit. So in this situation, what you have to do, you have to make this particular thing compulsory to them. Sometimes if it is something not acceptable, you can switch the groups. Otherwise, you can give them some group task and ask them to complete it anyhow, in any of the way, without listening anything. In these cases, you don't need to entertain them that much, so that they can have, that let's skip it. You don't make your image like this, that you will be always accepting their problems. So just be harsh to them at this place, and then let them work in a group. Then live projects, this is very very much important thing, which I always had in my class, that you can have some survey things, like as we do our research papers and all. You can take a topic of your interest or their interest. You can make some groups. You can assign topics to their groups. You can ask them to prepare some questionnaire. You can ask them to fill the data collection, but you have to guide them on each and every point. Then you can ask them to prepare some pie charts or some other graphs and other things, which can be done by them. But yes, before doing this, before giving these instructions to them, you have to give them demo for everything. You have to tell them how to do that. So when you will give directions, just make a base to them, so that they can understand why they are doing it. And you can ask them that they can also write these particular live projects which are done by them with your under your mentorship. They can write in their CVs also. So this is going to help you as well as their own growth. Because ultimately, when the students are taking like they are coming out of the graduation or PG, they are just having that they have done undergraduation or post graduation. They have not done other activities. So in this case, some of the students are very participative and they are participating in each and every activity. But yeah, some of the students who are very studious or they do not want to go for extracurricular, you should push them. But yeah, within the class, for the curricular or co-curricular activities, you can ask them to have these particular live projects, right? Then act. You can ask them to act, means not exactly the acting thing, but yes, what they are doing, they should act particular that particular thing to the class, so that they can be, others can understand what has to be done next. And also they can have the idea of something, like you also know the role plays and everything. So the a role play is something like act only, where you are asking them to be a part of the company. They can be the manager or something. You can give them some position, and you have to ask them to react like that. Reading
Ma'am,
and stay.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
Excuse me, ma'am. Slides
yeah.
are not moving. We are still on the homework slide.
Just a minute. Is it like visible to stand and speak?
Yes, ma'am.
So it was like after homework, I have told you stand and speak, then exercises, then group task, then live projects, and then act. So now moving to the next, the read and writing. Nowadays, because of the mobile, even the students are not, because of the, like you and me, maybe having the, remembering the number of mobile numbers to our relatives, our family members, but our kids, like younger generations, they are not having that this particular remembering thing in their mind. The thing is, because they are having mobile phones, if they want to make notes of something, they want to make a to-do list, they are making it in mobile. So they are not using pen and paper. So start or push them to make a habit, at least in a day, for an hour they should study, they should read something, or they should write. If they want to make something to-do list, they should write on a pen and paper without using their mobile phones. They should keep their mobile phones for some time um, aside. So reading and writing is very much important, because with the time they are leaving these two activities, because or every time they are indulged into the mobile phones and everything, the writing habits even are getting worse. So the students nowadays, not even they are understanding their regional languages. They don't know Hindi, they don't know English or any other state languages. So basically they are, going away. They are not good at English, not got that good at other languages. So they should be pushed from your side, that what is the importance of doing this. So it should be done from your side. Peer learning, this is also one of the most important way or thing to discuss amongst them. That peer learning is very much important. Some of students are doing this by themselves, but some of the students are like, they are just coming to the college or schools, they are sitting in the class and they are going back. They are not thinking what they are doing. They are just coming and going, coming and going. So they should know the value of peer learning, where they are learning from each other. They can ask other groups, they can make groups again, or they can individually can prepare something and they can learn with each other, and they can teach to each other basically. So you should also tell them, because as in the faculty, in the academic industry, we are also doing the same thing. We are learning, we are doing some collaborative projects and other things, and we are learning from each other, because everybody can't know each and everything, right? In this case particular, they should know this, that what is the importance of peer learning. Hands-on learning, you should also tell them, as I've told you, if we are going for the live projects, you should tell them how to do it. So just do and let them do together, so then only they can learn in a good way. Now, next, collaborative and cooperative learning. As I told you earlier, in the last slide, that peer learning is important. That this is how I have understood that the collaboration is one of the most important way to go ahead. Because of you are making good score, it doesn't mean I cannot make the good score. So it doesn't mean the people are doing this nowadays, that they are learning. If they know something, they are not going to tell you. They just want to earn their own scores. They don't want to tell you, because if your score would be higher, then what they will do. So don't think in this way, don't others think in this way. Just do some collaborative work. If you are learning something, others can also learn. If they are learning, it doesn't mean you cannot learn. So simply just make them, just keep them together, ask them to do some collaborative work, and ask them to cooperate with each other. Like if the students are not good at learning, or they are having troubling with some of the subjects, and if other students who are good, you should encourage them to learn or to teach them. Because sometimes the teacher who are teaching, they are not able to understand the mindset of the students, but their colleagues, their classmates can understand this, because they are at the same generation, at the same level. So this should be encouraged. Review games and activities, where they have to review the things, like novel reviews, games and activities can be done. They have to remember something, some this kind of games and activities can be conducted. Practical implications, basically this is also very much important. Recently one of my students told me that, ma'am, I was learning mathematics, but I don't know why we are learning this. What is the use of this, all those algebra and this and that? I don't know why. But when one of the faculty of her told her that how to do it, basically in the class they have told them the implication. Like they have given some example of fan, how this fan is working, how this things are moving, or something like this. So they have connected some mathematical formulas to this particular thing, so they could understand. So basically the subjects, specifically the subjects which are critical, the students are facing issues, the most of the students are facing issues, you should tell them the practical implications or applications of those particular topics. They can understand in a better way. So just a minute. Yeah. The next one is goal setting. This is also very much important. The students nowadays do not know what to do. Sometimes they are just doing it because of their friends are doing, or they can see something in movies or web series or somewhere else. They are thinking I should do this, but they really don't know their interest. They don't know their goals. They do not understand their family things, that what our family is doing, what they are expecting, or what is expected from them, what is their own interest areas, what is their own goals. So this should be done. You should counsel them, you should tell them what to be done, what are their goals, what can be their goals. You should try to align them. Nowadays, psychometric tests are there, where the students are learning from different, not learning exactly, like parents are getting to know what their kids are has to be done. So kids has to be done. Basically, what's happening, because the students are living in nuclear families again, most of them, and then the second point, the parents are also working. Because of them, the both parents are working. In this case, the parents are not able to know their or understand the goals or the students nature or their interest towards the particular thing, that what should be done. So what they are doing nowadays, they are using psychometric analysis test, where they can understand that what is their the interest area of these students. But yes, in the classes at college level specifically, sometimes students are diverted or distracted. They do not understand what to do. So basically, we have to counsel them so that they can set the goal. Outcome based learning is also very, very much important. Basically, the outcome based teaching learning or the education is the idea of the students, where they are expected to know and they are supposed to do it. So basically, the emphasis is placed on the idea, what has to be done, and what will be coming out of doing that. So outcome based teaching is also very much important. Now, next is participative teaching learning. This is also a very beautiful way of learning and teaching them. As just make them something in a good way, that they are very much closer to you in terms of learning, where they are not hesitating, they are not thinking that much before asking something to you. So be ask them to participate, ask them to be proactive for doing something. They ask them to participate in every activities, or if they are not doing, push them to doing it. And you also be the part of that particular teaching learning method. Now, this was some basic things which has to be done, but now I'm going to tell you the ABCD to learn to teach. I hope this slide is visible to everyone, where I am right now. ABCD.
No, sorry,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It's still stuck on hands-on learning.
Is it? So please let me know if I'm moving ahead and it is not moving. I don't know why it is happening, but yes, let me know. So I think it's moving now.
Yeah, but again, it's back on hands-on learning.
Okay. It's not moving. Just a minute. Hold for a second. Let me do it again. Now is it visible to everyone?
It's
Collab.
collaborative and cooperative
Yes.
learning.
Yeah. So
Correct.
after hands-on learning, I have set collaborative and cooperative learning, then review games and activities, practical implications, then goal setting, then outcome-based learning, then participative teaching learning. So I think now everybody is on ABCD.
Yeah. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, so now I will speak A, B, C, D. So if I'm like like the slides are not moving, let me know, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So as like I have told you some of the basic things which has to be done. As I've told you, I'm not teaching you something new. I'm just sharing some of my views on this, which I used to inculcate in my teaching always. So now I am just telling you some ABCDs which I have prepared for you all. So these keywords has to be always there in your mind when you are doing this, like you are teaching to someone. The students can be for the schools, for the college, or your peer can be the one where you are teaching them something or you are making them learn something. So these things has to be keep in your mind. So now the basic things I'm not going to explain that much, but yes, if some points has to be discussed, I will do it. So the ABCD, learn to teach. Number one, A. See, whenever I was working in my institution, I used to always acknowledge these students whenever they are doing even a small thing. Because if you are giving them something in return, obviously you cannot give them cash that you have done a good job. You cannot give them some awards every time, you cannot give them certificates every time, but at least you can acknowledge their work, that yes, you have done it. You should always say thanks to, or you should always show gratitude to them, right? So this has to be done. The acknowledgement is very, very much important, right? The second one is bond building. You should always try to create a good bond, a healthy bond between you and amongst the students, basically amongst themselves, and within within the class and outside the classes, and with like your bond with the students. So this particular thing should be there. Another point is creativity. Nowadays students are having very creative mind. They are having ideas, they are having very innovative things in their mind, but they are not getting opportunity. If they are getting, some of them are doing it, some of them are not doing it. So try to identify their creative level and let them do whatever they want to do in their way. Always try to make them free or set them free for doing some work. Now, next is D. D stands for develop. Developing the skills at the individual level. See, students are learning at the subjective level what they are learning, what you are telling them. You are teaching them subjects. But at individual level, they should learn or they should understand what has to be done. So try to develop them individually. Try to give them, you know, small learnings in at individual level also. If somebody is coming to taking some mentorship from you, they want some of your guidance, you should always give them. Then E for encourage. Encourage them for doing everything. The F, there are two things. One is friendly behavior. I always told my student, and I have already always kept this thing particularly in my mind, that you should always have friendly behavior with these students, so that they can be, they should not hesitate to talk with you, but don't be their friends, because the students cannot be your friends ever. They may be asking they may be telling you something on your face, and something else on other faculty's face. So don't try to be their friend, but just have the friendly behavior with them. Another one is feedback. Feedback is of two type. One is feedback is constructive, another one is destructive. So always try to keep your sentences or your saying when you are giving them something or saying them something, which is constructive. Don't try to abuse them, don't try to humiliate them, don't try to embracing them. So basically just try to tell them that why are you saying this. So try to give them constructive feedback. G for groom and goal setting. So goal setting I have already discussed. Another one is grooming. Grooming is very much important. Nowadays students are thinking that they are watching web series, mobile phones and the TV. So they do understand how to stay good, how to groom themselves. They are good at hairstyling, they are good at dressing. So they should also learn what is formal dress up, formal attire, how to talk, how to walk when they are having the interview. So they are lacking a lot on this. So you should always try to groom them. You should tell them some key points between your classes. Highlight. Whenever, as I told you, acknowledgement like this only. If somebody is doing something great happened, just highlight it. I stands for interaction and innovation. So as I told you, creativity is there. So nowadays the new things are also coming. So try to brainstorm them as much as they can. Try to innovate something, give them some different ideas. Even the nowadays colleges are having entrepreneurship cell, so try to make them or push them. The students with great minds, you can also push them to do something innovative and do some coming up with new ideas in the classes. Also, the interaction is very much important, because without interaction you cannot be their friends. You cannot have the friendly behavior with them, basically not the friends but the friendly behavior with them. As much as you are going to interact with them, you can have the better bond with them. Make them job ready. Try to tell them what is the importance of social media, but not in the just for the chatting with others. You can also tell them the importance of LinkedIn, how they can make their professional network and other things, and how to connect the people, and how they can be job ready, how can prepare they can prepare their own CVs and everything. Know yourself. This point is, there are two things. One is know yourself. Like, I've always told my students that whatever you are doing in front of the others, like the world, is can be a different face, but you know about yourself much much better than others, right? Whether it is somebody is your best friend or something, but you know yourself better. So you know everything about yourself, or you can say you know yourself and you know everything. They should have this particular mindset, and they should always start keeping or knowing more about themselves. So you always ask them to have some SWOT analysis on them: strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Then linguistic development, as I have already mentioned, the students are having or lacking very lacking behind on this. They are not having any good knowledge of any of the language, not even English, not Hindi, not other Gujarati, Marathi, or whatever these languages are, Tamil or something. But yes, you should always encourage them to at least stuck on one or two languages, where they can work in other states with other companies, big IT companies and other areas. The next is M. M stands for motivation. This should be always there with from your side. Keep motivating them for doing things. Another one is very much important. That is monitoring and control. Monitoring is something you should always keep your eyes open. What the students are doing in the class, outside the class, within the campus. Obviously, you cannot go there home, but yes, within the campus you can watch them. So keep monitoring, and if something is happening wrong, you should always control them. If your students are like some students are maybe stressed, depressed, or getting disturbed of some of the family matters or other matters. Nowadays they are having different matters apart from the family issues, but you should always try to make themselves into control. So monitoring is very much important within the class. If the student is not concentrated on his studies, they are regularly they are declining, or they are having low rating, low marks scores in the classes, then you should always focus on them. N is networking. Networking is very much important nowadays, whether the students are at the lower level or higher level, they are from the small, area or the big cities, or they are from the lower class or the upper class, doesn't matter. But they should have contact with the people. You should tell them again. Then LinkedIn is one of the best way to network, have the networking with the senior people, with the different areas, everything. So you should always tell them that they should go for meeting, they should go to the clubs, not being for the party clubs. I'm just talking about there are reading clubs, they are studying clubs, they are having some um, educational tour clubs and everything. There are so many things in the world nowadays. So you can ask them to make more friends physically, not on mobile phones, and ask them to build a good network, so that they can be benefited in the future also by doing this. Maybe some of the students having the some bakery, some of the students may be having their car dealership, they may be having their own educational institution, they may be having their own schools, they may be having something, and you want a job, your friend is expecting a job from somewhere, so you can help them by doing this. You can have the network. You don't know kab kaun kahan kaise kaam aa jaye. So next one is orientation. Orientation is also very much important. The students are knowing number of things, but not actually. So you should always give them orientation about things. You should also tell them that how to be familiarizing with the thing. The orientation is all about not only knowing thing, but being familiar with the other things. Like if you are telling them how to use a PPT, it is not about just using it, you should also tell them how to be familiar with them. They should know other features also which they are not using every day. So just make them familiar with other everything. P stands for personality enhancement. I have not learned the development, I have learned the enhancement. The students are already developed nowadays. The parents are learned, they are having a good lifestyle, they are having everything. But enhancement of the personality is important. They know that I'm having good clothes, I'm having good this and that. They have all the luxury and facilities. But because of that, the personality cannot be developed. Sometimes the students that they are looking very good at by their look, but they are not good at speaking. This makes this give the bad impression on the interviewers or somewhere. So basically the personality, how it can be enhanced, you should groom them for doing this. You should tell them how to learn more, how to start reading, how to increase or improve their vocabulary and everything, right? Then the quality check. The quality check is important, means the quality check of not the product but the students. There are so many students who are having good IQ. Some of them are not having. Some are having the good EQ is one. So the students are having different mindset. They are having different skill sets. But you should always ask them to have some other skills as well with which they don't know, and you should always keep a mark on it that they are improving or not. Means when you met them in the first year, are they improved in the second year or in the third year, what they have done in their past semester. So the quality check is very much important. R is reward. As I told you, acknowledgement is also a kind of reward. So reward and recognition is very much important. If they have achieved something, you should always give them rewards. You should appreciate them. You should acknowledge them in front of the class and other students and the other faculties. S stands for self-assessment. I hope I am audible to everyone and my slides are visible.
The slide is on R. I just want you to request for the S slide. That is
Yeah. Is
right.
it now? Is it on S?
No, it's not on S. It's still stuck on R.
Just a minute. Now I am on S. Is it there?
No, it's still R.
Just a minute.
Okay, now it is. As you have put this.
Okay.
Yeah, it is now. Thank you.
So S is self-assessment. As I told you, the SWOT analysis which we used to do, like maybe some of you used to do, you should also tell them the importance of that. They should know some of their strength. They should know some of their weaknesses on which they have to work. They should always use their strength for to get the opportunities. They should always they should always have idea about the different threats which are coming, obstacles coming in their way when they are planning or trying to achieve something. So the self assessment of the students is very much important. You should tell them that they should make a diary. They should have a habit of make a writing or diary where they can talk about themselves with themselves. Okay. So the self assessment is also very much important. The tracking is very much important. Again, the reason behind what they are doing, you should know it. Being a coordinator of the class, obviously you cannot know each and everything about each and every student, but at least some of the students can become under your guidance. They can choose you as a mentor, and you can track their ideas, you can track their activities, you can track their learning, their development, and you can tell them what to do, how to do, when to do, and why to do. So basically tracking is important. The records should be maintained, like what they are scoring and other things are happening. Then U stands for understand. The understanding is very much important. What you have done in your school days, you cannot expect the students to do a same thing in the classes. If you were saying namaste or the pranam to your teachers, you cannot ask them to, or you cannot expect it from your today's kids. They can say hi to you, but you should not take it as your, like, you are not, it should not be offended. You should accept it, and you should make them understand, and you should understand this thing that the generation gap is there and other things has to be done in a proper way. So understanding amongst the students and you is very much important. You should always try to inculcate some basic value system in within themselves. So this is very much important. Now other point is willingfulness to learn. You should try to change your, if students are not sitting in your class, they are bunking your class, they are not giving attention in your class, then you should come up with the new ideas to teach. You should come up with the new way to teach. You should come up with new, maybe a new different way where they can start learning or start sitting in your classes. And you should always have this idea why they are not learning. So you should know their willingfulness to learn. Without this, they cannot learn anything. They may be sitting in your class, but ultimately it is not benefited to them and you, and it is not going to make a good impression on others about you, because students are not giving you good feedback, right? So you should always give them something which can start willingfulness in to them to learn more. Then the expector. What is this? The expector is something that every student has. जरूरी नहीं है कि सबके पास सब कुछ हो. So every student has their own ideas. They have some uniqueness into themselves. They have something unique in them. Every students cannot have everything. Some of them may be good at extracurricular, some may be good at curricular. So the X factors. So you should identify every student's, what is their X factor means, individual characteristics which they are good at, and you should identify this and you should try to improve that. Which they don't know, don't try to push them to learn more, but what they know, try to improve that. And why is you know everything about yourself. I have already discussed this particular thing, but I still am telling you that you should always push them to know this, that you may know, you can know everything about you. You should always try. If you know that you are not good at English, you are not good at mathematics, you are not good at physics or chemistry or any other subject, they should start learning. So you should always try to come up with the new uh, ideas or ways where they can know more about themselves. And you should try to make them realize about this, that you are not good at that. You should start working on it. You should not wait for the examination to go to the coaching and to learn, but you can start from the first day this habit, that start knowing about yourself and learn it. The last one is zone. The zone is, I'm not talking about the only the different zone. Yes, the comfort zone should be there. The student should not be pushed in the class. They should not feel that they are sitting forcefully in the class. They should be feeling comfort. I'm not talking about the chair should not be there. They should have some sofas and they should have ACs or something like that. I'm just talking about they should feel
Mr.
open.
Prashant, please keep your mic mute.
You should tell them that
Mute
they
yourself.
should be comfortable while they are learning. They should be very comfortable while they are asking. They should be comfortable when they are sharing something. So the zone should be created. The environment, the classroom environment should be developed in this way that they can feel a very good comfort zone. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, if any of you is having any kind of question, you want to ask something, you can ask. Any of you?
Now you all can unmute yourself. Open questionnaire round. You can ask whatever the queries you all have.
Any of you want to ask something, you can let me know.
Ma'am, I would like to raise a question.
Yeah.
As we can see in the classroom environment, mostly what happens is everywhere the teaching takes place, but sometimes it's maybe the a student's want or willingness sometimes, and learning happens a little bit less in the calculation when the teaching learning process is concerned. So like, yeah, we got to know a broader aspect of today's presentation by you, which was very wonderful. But then how to make the ratio of learning more, because teaching happens everywhere and learning is taking place a little bit less comparatively. So yeah.
Mhm. So basically, ma'am, if I'm right, I understood your question. So the thing is that I must say that the students are having, doing everything nowadays. Even I had some of the student groups like which were connected for 3 years in their particular class. I must say, when they were from the first year till the last year. So sometimes they are closer to you, and they tell you that this is happening in the class, the students are not doing this, they are not liking you, they may be saying this to you, they also talk about other faculties or something like this. So this is how you should always take it as a positive feedback, first of all. Secondly, if they are not learning, then you should know what is there, why they are not learning. So you can ask some of the students who are very good at learning, or who are very good at some of them may be doing it. So you can ask them that why it is happening, why other students are not focusing, why. And you should always try to create, because I must say, whenever the students are not paying attention, you start understanding it, that they are not taking your notes, they are not understanding you. You start observing it. So you should always try to give them some activities, you should take a break from your teaching, you should give them some open space where they can interact. You should start building some bond with them. I would suggest this when they are having so much, like there's sometimes the faculties are just teaching, so they also have this, that the student faculty would come, they will teach and go. So don't make this kind of image, because nowadays, what I can understand from my understanding, that the students do not only want studying, they what they want some interactive activities, and through activities you
Relation,
can teach
like,
them. Yes, they want
correct.
bond, because if you teach them, they know that they can go get notes online, they can have it from SlideShare, they can have it from somewhere else, they can have the books, everything is available nowadays. But what is not available, they want attention, they want your presence, they want your interaction in the classes. This is what I would like to say.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you, and I've noted all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome. Anybody else?
Madam, I am from Sage University, Indore.
Yes, sir.
What is the disadvantage of cooperative learning?
I think sir, I should not say this, that there is any disadvantage, but sometimes when they are like, I have not mentioned this, that there is any disadvantage. I must say there are always some advantage whenever you are doing something together. But yes, there can be one or two points which I can say, that when there are students, like 6 students are working in a group. So whenever for example, I have given them a presentation to make, maybe one or two of them has put 80% efforts, and others four are not putting that much efforts, but because it's a good project, we can say that they are presenting in a good way. So I always, when they are start giving presentation, I always, what I do, I always ask the students who is sitting the last in the group, or they are not start speaking, who is having the last number, I start asking questions from them, so that the other students can take this from a learning thing, teaching thing, that the faculty would ask from the one who is not speaking at all, who is not giving any point, who is not speaking that much, because the student who is preparing that presentation, that particular student would take the most of the part of presentation. They will speak much. Whenever you ask question, they will start speaking, other would not do. So in the cooperative learning, some of the students who are not having that much efficiency, they will they may not be having, because they are not dominating others, they are just sitting back, and they are just waiting others to do. So sometimes they are not putting efforts when they are having the cooperative learning, they are doing some collaborative work. So this is what I can say from my side.
Okay. Thank you so much, madam.
Yes, sir. Anybody
Ma'am,
else?
it was a very wonderful session, especially the ABCD of teaching. It was just mind blowing. Very
Thank you so
clearly,
much.
explicitly expressed, ma'am. Could you please share the PPT with us, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am, I think this particular session is running on the YouTube as well. You can have the notes from there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Anybody else wants to ask something? Any of you? Okay, so I think Nikita ma'am, everybody is done with their questions.
Yes,
So
ma'am, everybody
we
is
should
done.
move.
Ma'am, it was really a nice session. My gratitude to you for all you have done. I truly appreciate you and your time, ma'am, which you have spent helping all of us in this session. And the most interesting part of this session was your ABC session, the concept of ABC, which was really nice. And we enjoyed every minute of your lecture as well as the marvelous sense of humor also, ma'am. So thank you so much. We heartily thank you from all RFI team, ma'am. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikita ma'am, and all the audience. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much to all the participants also for being a good and patient listener. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, participants.
Thank you.